Welcome back. If you're new, thanks for stopping by. I bought an RC plane, and not just any RC plane. This is a Hobby Zone Carbon Cub S2. It has a 1.3 meter wingspan, and this is the Cleetus McFarland Special Edition. So it's got the livery just like his Carbon Cub he owns in real life. And me being a bit of a fanboy, I couldn't say no when I saw this come out. This is also a skill level 1, so it's a beginner plane. It's got 3 flight modes: beginner, intermediate, and experience. So we're definitely going to start on beginner because it's been about 20-something years since I've flown a plane. Probably back in high school sometime. And my last flight, I crashed the plane. But since this came out, I really had to have it. It also comes with Real Flight. It's a training simulator for RC planes. The great thing about the controller in this, it hooks up to your computer with a USB-C cable, and you can start training how to fly with this exact plane. Like I said, this is a special edition. It's inspired by the real Cleetus plane. It's easy to fly. It's got safe technology. It's also easily upgradable. It's got a upgrade where you can add GPS to it. Basically, if you lose track of it, the controller dies, or your signal gets cut somehow, it'll return to that home spot, or if you press a button on the controller, if I remember correctly. But I don't have that, so why am I even worrying? It also has a panic recovery mode, which is basically what I was telling you. The button you press on that will allow you to recover the plane, depending on, what position you're in. Hopefully high enough above the ground to where it just levels out. You don't have to worry about it. All right, let's pop this baby open. Like I said, I already took out all the booklets and controllers and stuff like that. Whew. A lot of plane in this box. Before we get everything put together, here's the controller I already pulled out. It's a DXS. It's by Spectrum. You can hang a lanyard here so you can hold it around your neck while you're carrying it. It's got all sorts of buttons and switches, and of course your standard throttle and rudder control, and then your altitude and your turning, your roll. But let's go ahead and get it put together. Plane's all put together. I think the camera died at some point, but we're out here on location. Got a nice field here that I'm gonna try to fly in, and we'll see how this goes. I got a couple tripods out here just hanging out. Hopefully those will catch some of the action. Hopefully I don't crash, but we'll see what happens. Things didn't go so great. The winds were really gusty and swirling, and I was a little scared to get it off the ground. I eventually did, but I didn't get much flight time because I spent most of the time on the ground trying to figure out the taxiing and getting it to take off straight. However, the next day, things went a lot smoother. No, that's I have no throttle and this thing is still somehow managing. Look at this touchdown. Look at this. Little bounce. I think that's pretty good though. Approach on this pack. Ain't gonna fucking make that the win. Oh boy. You're barely moving. I am so freaking happy that I bought this plane. It is a lot of fun to fly and super easy to fly. Anybody could probably pick this up, show them how the controls work, and they could take off and get it in the air. I know I had some troubles at first trying to taxi and get it to take off my first time out, but that was because there was super gusty winds, the winds were swirling, and I also was a little nervous. But eventually I did get in the air, and I was glad I did. However, I realized after that first spot, it's a little close to an airport, so I had to change up where I was flying. The beginner, the intermediate, and experience modes are freaking fantastic. You can just flip a switch between the three modes and try each of them out. I stayed in beginner most of the time, especially when it was more windy, just because I didn't want to lose control of the plane and crash it, being this is almost $400. Well, with batteries, it was $400. Other than that, though, I only had a couple complaints. It's a little hard to steer in high winds when you're taxiing. Sometimes it will just kind of decide what direction you're going. I didn't like that. Maybe I'll look into a rear tire upgrade or somehow get some weight on that. I'm not sure if that's a possibility. The nose cone came off at some point. Not sure when, but a new one was like $10, so I wasn't too sad about that. Otherwise, I have no complaints. Again, fantastic plane to start with. If you get in trouble out there, all you got to do is hit that panic button mode and it'll level you out, or flip the switch from whatever mode you're in back to beginner. If you're in beginner, you shouldn't have any troubles. It should just level you out if you let off the controls. Anyway, that's going to be it for this one. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, you know where to leave them. As well, if you could click the buttons that are over here, I'd appreciate it as it helps me out. I thank you all for stopping by today. Hope you have a great rest of your day and take care.